What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with some more unboxing videos. And so I thought about going live at about the time I got home and got everything wrapped up and was ready to go live. Everybody started hitting the auction scene again. And so as to not pull away from that, because that's the kind of guy I am, I decided to just pre-record this and then drop it at a later time. Kind of thought about holding it off because I still have several packages coming in, but I'm fixing to be starting on my Uncanny X-Men collection and going through each one of those, and so I'll be dropping those videos over the next week or so, and as we go through that collection. But because 1, 4, and 9 will be here supposedly tomorrow. We'll see. Might be Wednesday. So got a lot of stuff. I'm going to give a shout out to the people that I can remember who I got the stuff from, and if I didn't, sorry. Sad emojis, but I won't be able to give you a shout out because I don't go back and do a lot of editing on my videos. It's just raw here, people. Just raw, plain vanilla. Anyways, I did get my package from Thorough at Keep It Thorough. Was on his auction the other night and hadn't seen anything, just kind of casually even listening, and he throws this up there and I'm like, oh, come on, man, why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? But he threw it up there and I bid $1 more than the other guy, and lo and behold, I got it. But this is XO Manowar. It was 68. I knew I had to place a little Valiant Love on the video here, and it's a 9.8, and this is the last issue of the first run of XO Manowar. And of course, the interesting thing about XO, for those who might not be aware, the video game action back in the day, XO and Iron Man, and that is a game by Acclaim. And so by this time, Acclaim had acquired Valiant Comics. You can see Acclaim right there, and so they would relaunch them as Acclaim, and that fizzled out pretty quickly, and then Acclaim ended up filing bankruptcy, and they went into Valiant characters went into hiding, as it were, until about 2012 when they revamped the line. So I got that from him, picked that one up, and he threw in some extra books for me here. Fort, Prophet of the Unexplained, #1. Looks like there's another 2 or 3 in here. Ringgold, The Ring of Howling. So I guess it's a play off of J.R. Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings. And then The Lone Gunman. So these are all Dark Horse titles. Not familiar with any of them. But he threw those in there as freebies. So appreciate that. His wife was soon to have a baby. So I don't know if by the time this video drops, he will be a papa again. But congratulations to him either way. Monkey Man and O'Brien, #2 of 3. Book 2, Astro City, The Dark Age. And then Astro City, Local Heroes. That's some Alex Ross goodness there. And then U-Demon, 1 of 3. Let's see, Dark Child, The Legacy, #1. Arthur Adams covers there. We got Dark Child, Amish Comics, Image, 98 preview, so some kind of preview to the same character there. And those were all freebies from him, so appreciate him. And he usually has some stuff that you don't see every day when he puts up an auction. So the next batch, I do not remember who I got them from, but they came in good shape. And of course, this is a giant size X-Men 1 homage. But if I can get the lenticular right, some of these lenticulars are really good and some not so much. But this is a Spirits of Vengeance 1. You can almost see it, not quite. So it looks great right there, not so great there. And it's funny how these lenticulars are. And some of them are just, they move and you go, oh, that's so cool, but it's not so much. So seems to be a limitation of the technology, I guess. X-Men, this is the Jim Lee run, number 8, Gambit versus Bishop. Of course, I already had this one, but I didn't have it in a newsstand, so pick that one up. And this is a special edition X-Men number 1. This is a reprinting of Giant Size X-Men number 1. I had this already, but I didn't have the newsstand, so pick that one up from that seller. And I've been trying to rummage through my holds, whether they were on YouTube or IG, just trying to make sure I got everything that I've ordered and trying to see where I'm at with my stuff. So I'm trying to slow down, but all these extra YouTube auctions and Instagram postings, it makes it really hard on a guy like me. The struggle's real, but nevertheless, we continue to soldier on. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead, pause this video. You have my permission, and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also the bell notification, so that when videos like this drop, you will be one of the first people to know. And if you haven't already done so, please check out my 400 subscriber video giveaway, talking about what will be given away as well as how to enter. It's really simple, and so go check that out and do that. So also now this came from Thunder God, and he was one of the ones I've had some stuff just kind of laying out there from him, and I said, yeah, go ahead, send it out. So I got Hawkman the Infected. This is number 18, You're the Villain, Tyler Kirkham. This is the acetate cover, so if you open it up, it's got the Batman Who Laughs in there. Got it for $1 or $2 on one of the late night auctions. Basket Full of Heads, number 1. This is the variant. Can't for the life of me remember who does the cover. The cover, I read the book. I might give it a second glance at issue 2. But the cover was definitely the best piece of art of the book. Doomsday Clock, number 9. And so I got to read all the Doomsday Clocks because I bought several from different sellers and whatnot. Had thought I had them all, and I was reading through them, and I skipped from 8 to 10, and I said, seems like something happened. I don't realize it, but I was able to still soldier through the story. It was a good read, and I can imagine if you bought the issues like as they were coming out, how frustrating that would have been. I did not, so I didn't get that frustration, but hey. Wildcats number 10, some Jim Lee and Chris Claremont teaming up on the Wildcats from back in the day. Then we got Wildcats number 7. This is part of the Killer Instinct where them and Cyberforce crossed over there, and that's chapter 3. And I got this one from him, and I thought that this was a glow-in-the-dark cover, but I think on second inspection here that this is not indeed the glow-in-the-dark cover. This looks like I can't remember when these came out, but this one's a newsstand, so I'm wondering if the newsstands were regular and then the direct editions were the glow-in-the-dark one. But got Shadowhawk, and then also got Shadowhawk number 2 where he goes against Spawn. So like all kids my age, when all the best artists went from Marvel over to Image and created their own titles, largely mimicking the characters that they used to draw. I dug these things. Spawn was one I never got in. I went to like the first 10 issues and sold them and made some money, and never really got into Spawn past that. I did like Shadowhawk. He really never took off. That's got to be a pun, right? Hawk taking off. But anyway, he never really took off. I don't think he had like several starts and reboots. And I like Valentino back in the Guardians of the Galaxy. The that he did back in those days. But of course, I was a big Jim Lee fan, so had to pick up Wildcats and those titles. The Batman Who Laughs, The Grim Knight. This is going to be a Del Auto, I believe. Variant cover. What if Batman was the Punisher? That's basically what the Grim Knight was. So, I got these, and then this is one I'm going to probably remember. Probably, I'm not going to look awful hard for it. And yeah, any other time I'd be able to look straight at it and find what I was looking for. But I got these. Oh, Louis Padilla. So he was doing a live Instagram sale, and I jumped on, happened to see some books that I liked, and picked up a couple more. Corresponded with him back and forth a couple of times to try to find if he had some more that he would be willing to sell that I could buy at the same time, because I like to combine my shipping. And finally, lo and behold, when you know it, he goes and has another one where he has some more books that I want after he's done shipped it. Go figure. This is Wolverine Weapon X #1. This is the second print variant. I have the sketch print of him in the Weapon X attire with the Marvel Comics Presents, helmet on and all that kind of stuff that I got a couple weeks ago and showed on a couple videos back. But this one is the second print. Thought that was kind of cool. And he also threw in this card. This is from the Marvel Comics series of cards back in the day. That's the first series. And so that was pretty cool. This was the big one that I wanted to get. It was X-Force 15 newsstand. Didn't have that. Pretty nice clean copy. And this is the first fight between Cable and Deadpool. And so it's kind of one of the bigger books of the run. And it is done by Mr. Greg Capullo, who's better known for his Batman work nowadays. Then we got Cable #6, and this is Adi Granoff cover. And so we got Hope Summers, got Cable, we got Cyclops. Looks like one of those little 80s pictures, where they had the family photo and they had the little hand on top of them. That was kind of the vibe that you got going on there. New X-Men 44, part of the Messiah Complex. This is David Finch on the new X-Men. Bloodshot Rising Spirit #1. Clayton Crane, Virgin variant. So pretty cool there. And those all came from him. Now this is another one that I forgot who they came from. Sorry. But been picking up some, different things like promotional comics, comic books that like different language, Spanish versions or foreign versions of comic books. So this was one that DC done. Went to Heroes Against Hunger. And so that's Neil Adams, at least on the cover. And it's got some spotting, some spine ticks or whatever, but I paid $1 for it. So couldn't beat it at $1. And it was a promotional comic they did back in the day to help do that. And then this is X-Men #1. This is the Pizza Hut. So you used to get a kid's meal for $2.99, right? $2.99. And get you a little personal pan pizza, get you a little drink, and get you a comic book. And of course, I had all these back in the day, but as most of you know, I got rid of my collection like many people did. And so found this, and it was $1. So pretty cool action there with a little Rogue and Gambit on the front cover. They're still in the poly bag. Still in the poly bag. Then we got #3, which has Magneto and Beast on the front cover. Again, still in the poly bag. There were 4 of them, as you can tell right there. And then this one was Daredevil #1. This is against Vapora. So trying to tell little kids, do not sniff the gasoline. Do not sniff the gasoline. While this is a valuable lesson, and for anybody who's ever had a kid that sniffed gasoline, it's kind of like the thing on the hair dryer, right? It says, "Do not operate this in the water." You just kind of wonder, is like, would we be better off if we just kind of let things go where they need to go? Just saying. But X-Men 95. This is when they started using the year as opposed to having an annual and keeping a sequential number. So this is like annual number 4, I think, for the X-Men Jim Lee run era. And that's Heir to Apocalypse versus Sinister with Phoenix and the Beast caught in the middle. Ooh. Uncanny X-Men 238. Picked it up for $3. Newsstand. Had the direct version of it already. And then picked this one up. Paid a little more than what I normally would pay for something like this, but I thought it was a neat cover. And there's another seller who has shipped my stuff. I have not got it yet, but has the connecting. That was one of the other things that I'm kind of on this kick for, is like connecting covers. So there's another seller that I bought the other ones, and he had the one that the other seller didn't. So decided to go with him to get that. So this is Phoenix Resurrection number 1. This is the In-Hunt Lee variant. This is Marvel Girl. So they have several different incarnations of Phoenix throughout the years. And of course, this is the original costume. And got this from Hack. Used to go by Hack 79 or 77, 79. And now he's just Hack. I guess he didn't want people knowing how old he was or whatever, but he sent me my books. He was one of those people that I had books that have been kind of sitting there for a while. I wanted to make sure I got all my stuff in and where I was at. And this is from Batman, the New 52. This is 23.1. This is the Joker cover. I thought this was the lenticular, but this is just a regular version. And I'm thinking there is a lenticular version to this. Jason Fabok draws this. Besides him having a good first name, he does draw a good Batman. Uncanny X-Men 162. This is where Wolverine goes up against the Brood and fights the Brood off. And of course I had this already, but it was a direct edition, so now I got the newsstand. Batman 487. Then specials. That's Batman. Doomsday Clock number 5. I have the color version of this, but I also have the black and white version of it. Just thought it was a sick Joker cover. Decided to pick that up. And for most kids that were raised in the 80s, the Muppets were a large part of what we remember. We started off on Sesame Street, went over to the Muppets, and as the movies came out and the toys and all that kind of stuff, and then sequentially after Muppets Take Manhattan came out, Muppet Babies and that type of stuff. So a lot of Jim Henson work. And shout out to Two Brothers Comics, Nick over at Two Brothers Comics, who didn't even know who Jim Henson was. But I'm glad we got to school him, and he is now of the understanding of all the creative juices that are still flowing as a result of Jim Henson's creativity. So this is no exception. This is Star Comics, Muppets Take Manhattan, number 1 of a 3-issue miniseries from back in the day. So then we got X-Men Black, the Juggernaut version. So these were all one-shots, and J. Scott Campbell did. There might be some alternates, because I know that the X-Men Black that the White Queen does, they did of the White Queen. Adam Hughes did a cover too, but the ones I recognize are J. Scott Campbell's. And this is for the Juggernaut. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I got a whole stack of whole stack of these books and still more. I was looking through, and when I order off IG, I'll go through there and delete the messages. For some reason, IG keeps bringing those messages back. If you know how to keep that from happening, comment down below, please. But I'll delete them, and then that way I kind of keep up with where some of my packages are, because some people are a little faster to ship out than what others are. And if I buy something off YouTube, usually I'll just do a little sticker right over here. See, this is the one I had for Thorough, and once I get it, I do like that. That way I can remember where all my books are coming in from. So hopefully going to pick up some new comics for New Comic Book Day Wednesday. We shall see if there's anything that I am on the hunt for. There are a couple of series that I have decided to not collect anymore. I might read them, but not collecting them and buying the single issues anymore as part of my Corona time to ponder, right? And one of those was Amazing Spider-Man, which came out last week. Decided to drop it, as well as Undiscovered Country. So I think Undiscovered Country comes out this week. You know, I just never really got into the mythos, and like Scott Snyder, like his work. I don't know if the art wasn't telling the story right for me. A lot of people like it, but just wasn't me. So that was one that I'm not going to be picking up. So I think I've only bought one new comic book, and that was Marauders, which was pretty good, by the way. But anyway, that's where we're at. So tell me what you think about my pickups. Tell me what you are picking up yourself. And as always, hopefully you're all being safe out there. We're living in a crazy world, and now we're in hurricane season. Just what 2020 needs, some more hysteria, right? Well, everybody stay safe out there, regardless of whether you think this is all drummed up, the end of the world, or somewhere in between. It doesn't matter. Be safe out there. Be excellent to one another. To bar centaur stir fries. Catchphrase. And until next time, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios.